It's hard to believe I started a company in India 30 years ago. Time really flies when you're having fun. One moment I was a young entrepreneur, and the next I'm wondering where all my hair went. And some of you may wonder, how did I come to start a business in Vizag? I am from Charleston, South Carolina, a little town on the coast, about midway up the east coast of the United States. Well, this a famous Nobel Prize winner. He was a psychologist, but he won the Nobel Prize in economics. And he said recently, entrepreneurs take risk because they don't know any better. And I have to say, that's probably the reason that we have a company in Vizag now. When I arrived in India in 1994, I noticed things were a little different than in Charleston, South Carolina. For example, there were quite a few cows in the street, and they occasionally chased each other, and sometimes people. I could ride an elephant, and I thought I was a pretty good badminton player until I played some people at the badminton club. But I came to Vizag with the intention of starting a software company that would be a sister company to Quant Systems in the US. I stayed for about 6 weeks with Ravi Gupta and his family, Satyen, his father, Annapurna, his mother, and Sunanda, his sister. Ravi's father was really helpful, recruiting over 200 programmers to come to Vizag for testing. We interviewed about 50 and chose 8, one of which was Gopi Krishna. Looks like Gopi lost a little hair himself. We also hired a young man named Ramu. And these men celebrated over 30 years with our company this month. And I can safely say that we would not be operating in Vizag today without them. So thank you very much.
In the 90s, Dr. Hawks used to visit us almost every year. Irrespective of how far Charleston is from Visakhapatnam, he used to make sure to come here almost every year or every other year. We were lucky to have him, for multiple anniversary parties where he gave away the prizes. And we have the Quant Olympics. He was a big supporter of that.
We're going to show a list of products that we've developed over the years. When I first came to India in 1994, our products were written in C mainly and using the Windows SDK, and we developed our products initially in Windows 1.0. When we got to India and set up, we started transitioning the products, primarily the Stat product, over to Visual Basic. And we used Visual Basic for a very, very long time until we started doing the web products. But as you see, there are a lot of products being displayed here that we created over the years, which we couldn't have done without our Indian counterparts. Basically, we had the best products in the world. We developed the first products with artificial intelligence, and there was no product better than ours. In fact, I don't think there's any product better than ours today. Now, we have some new challenges with artificial intelligence, a new kind of artificial intelligence, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens over the years as we compete in that world.
While doing the work, we also had a lot of fun. There were a lot of picnics and get-togethers, events. But if I have to summarize all that in a single or couple of words, I would have to say Quant Olympics. We have been having Quant Olympics for almost the last 20 years. And they have been a great hit. And most of the people who have worked in the company and left for various reasons, when they come back or when they talk to us, Quant Olympics is one of the major things that they always remember. Specifically, I want to mention about the banana grab event. We did not have that event in all the Olympics, but did have in a couple of Olympics, and also when Dr. Hawks was here. I just want to tell you the idea or the initial idea behind Banana Grab. We used to, when Dr. Hawks used to visit us, we used to take a lot of people to lunches. And after one of those lunches, Dr. Hawks wanted to travel, to come back to the office on my bike. As most of you remember, I used to have a bike, a Yamaha bike, and while we are coming, Dr. Hawks, opposite to Andhra Bank, he saw a cart with bananas hanging. And he had this idea that while going on the bike, how many bananas we can grab. So we actually went and talked to the guy. We told him, we paid him some money. And we tried a couple of times, Dr. Hawks sitting behind and I was driving to grab the bananas. And he did pretty well. The first time nobody was watching, but the second time when people realized what what we were doing, they all stopped and they were actually watching. I'm sure if we had cell phones at that time, they would even had the video of it somewhere on the YouTube. And then all the bananas that we grabbed, we actually gave away to the kids there. And also I think some we brought to the office and gave it. Yeah, it's a great event. It was a lot of fun. So it's a great idea.
When you have a country with over 1 billion people in it, a significant percentage are probably going to be economically disadvantaged or just plain poor. And one of the things that I'm extremely proud of is that the leadership of our company has taken upon itself to find projects in and around Vizag to help poor people. And I can't tell you how happy I am that they did that. It's brought me great joy knowing that we have helped quite a few people. We have a school that we helped, maintain, and quite a few other things that we've done over the years. So in this next little segment, we'll be telling you some of the stories about those projects. And by the way, if any of you spot a project in the future that you'd like to do, please let me know. We'll see what we can do.
In addition to our regular works and our annual Quant Olympics, we engaged in several donations through charity works, which we received with the contributions from HLS and QSI. Thanks to these contributions which we received with them, we could make some difference to the society in Vizag. When Dr. Hawks visited Vizag, we had him visit those places and he could look at those places, and he was very happy with the changes which we have done, which the organizers at the charity places wanted, and he encouraged us in future if there's any other such requirement to inform him so that we can carry some more going forward.
In 2000, one of our ex-employees, Mr. Murli Krishna, ran a charitable trust called Ashrit Charitable Trust. Through his trust, we supported education of an underprivileged student. Not only that, many of our employees used to make donations to his trust every month.
The same year, we donated used computers for free to the underprivileged children at the Babu Bhavan organization. If you can see in this picture, there are a lot of ex-employees and also a lot of current employees who went for the donation drive.
Soon after, our employees, Mr. Srihari and Mr. Nagesh, got involved with the Ashrit Charitable Trust. This really helped us connect with a bunch of other such organizations. Through this trust, we came across the Mahila Action Organization, which does an amazing work by helping underprivileged kids. We were happy to make a meaningful contribution to support their effort.
Another undertaking by Ashrit Charitable Trust. We sponsored an eye camp through Shankar Eye Foundation in a village called Revadi for around 200 people. We assured that post-checkup purchases and treatments, be it glasses, medicines, and most importantly cataract, were also handled by us. To make it seamless, we arranged transport to the city, covering all costs, so no one had to worry about skipping treatment due to financial concerns.
We met Mr. Krishna Mohan, a dedicated yoga teacher and a social worker, living next to one of our old offices. Through his NGO, we helped fund a medical camp in a remote village called Banadi. In that camp, they conducted a general checkups and distributed medicines to over 150 people based on their doctor's prescription.
Yes, again through the same person, Mr. Krishna Mohan. We once sponsored a meal to mentally retarded patients at the government mental health care hospital to recognize the need of mental health care. Mr. Srihari still recalls the Om chant recited by the patients before the meal as a sign of positivity, which reminds that small things bring a greater impact to one's life.
One of our biggest drives has been our support to underprivileged students for their food and education. As a part of this, we donated books and school uniforms to over 31 students through various non-profit organizations. During this specific donation, Mr. Gopi quizzed the students and gave them chocolates as rewards. The students enjoyed the session so much that most of them stayed for a really long time after the drive was over.
One of the reputed food donation organization, Akshay Patra, which is run by ISKCON, approached Mr. Srihari to sponsor a midday meal to underprivileged children.
We also provided donations for emergency patients. This person from the clips is an auto driver who had met with a major accident and needed a surgery for his leg. Mr. Funny referred him as he couldn't afford for the treatment or surgery. QSI rallied as a team together. We not only raised a substantial amount among ourselves, but also HLS stepped into a generous check to help him out. It's one of those moments that truly shows the strength and compassion within our community.
One of our employees, Mr. Srihari, knew a temple priest who had an 8-year-old daughter who requires heart surgery. Through company, we gave some amount for her surgery.
Mr. Srihari was contacted by one of his badminton partners who told him about an old age home in Beamley that had needs which could be possibly met with our support. Mr. Srihari and Mr. Nagesh went, personally did the due diligence and found out what the old age home needed. We donated a refrigerator and a water purifier to the old age home.
So there's a trust called the Bala Vikas Foundation. This was recommended by Mr. Gopi's father, Professor Bala Mohan Das. Through this trust, we helped women and children of a fisherman's families in Vizag by renovating a bridge school in their colony. In 2015, when Dr. Hawkes visited India, he inaugurated this renovated school. Well, this renovation took about a month, which included constructing washrooms for women and children. We also supplied new sewing machines and funding trainers every month so that women from that society can learn sewing and develop their self-sufficiency. Additionally, we also donated few electrical appliances that our school needed. Basically, the goal is to provide basic education to children and support women empowerment. It feels really great thinking that we as an organization have been part of something so impactful.
Through Mr. Gopi's father, Professor Bal Mohan Das, we came to know about the Generation Yuva Home for the Needy. This was an amazing organization that fed, educated, cared for orphan children. I think there were around 60 or more than 60 orphan children. And most of these kids were found in railway stations, bus stations, abandoned in the streets, or some of these were also children who were pulled from begging. So we went there, we spoke to the staff and the children, and we also gathered all the information about items that they might need, and we provided essentials to them. This was one of the very fulfilling experiences that we had. Mr. Gopi was acquainted with a very senior retired deputy superintendent who informed him about the reputed Police and Public Association home. This home cares for, rehabilitates, and protects street children. Dr. Hawks interacted with the heads of the organization, personally asked them what their needs were, and provided those essentials to the home. We conducted games, sports, quizzes, and other activities, and also provided exam pads to 100 young boys.
During a visit to India, Miss Ellen insisted on donating a substantial amount to the needy who were having major requirement. Though there were a couple of options readily available, Mr. Prasad and Mr. Nagesh have looked in and added few more places. We still remember the strong personality of Miss Ellen's belief to empower the women, the time spent with us, the women of QSI. With the same intention, she has insisted on visiting the blind school of girls and the bridge school, which was already renovated by us, interacted with the girls there and provided them their desired goals, essentials, sports requirements, and many more. No matter how much we progress, there are always women and girls who require a little extra support. The other major donation was renovating the building of blind school for boys. One of the highest contributions was offered to renovate their schools, hostels, and also the classroom essentials. We can have a look at the pics of the school before and after renovation.
During COVID pandemic, our company really stepped up with some crucial social service activities. One among them were when Mr. Chandrasekhar from WIMS Hospital approached Mr. Gopi saying that they were facing a huge shortage of PPE kits and N95 masks, which were desperately needed to keep their health professionals safe. So immediately we were able to arrange for those supplies and delivered to the director of that hospital. Later, during the brutal second wave of COVID, when finding a bed for a COVID patient was nearly impossible, we were actually able to secure bed in that same hospital for the family member of one of our employees who was in a critical condition. Here I strongly believe that karma played a role. This is like earlier help came back to assist us.
During the COVID pandemic, Akshay Patra approached Mr. Srihari to provide grocery kits to daily wage workers. This would help the workers sustain for a while without having to worry about food while they try to find work again. With the contributions from HLS and QSI, we were able to give grocery kits to around 200 to 300 daily wage workers. These workers lost their livelihood due to the lockdowns and the standstill that COVID had brought the world to. Our employees also stepped in by distributing the food and giving grocery kits to them.
COVID still continues. Our charity to help needy always continues. Mr. Srihari came to know about the refugee workers via one of his badminton friends that would benefit them with meals. Along with Akshay Patra, our employees didn't just sit back and contribute from afar. Instead, distributed themselves to more than 1,000 workers, daily wage workers who worked in construction sites, and also to the refugees who were seeking shelter in the sheds nearby those sites.
An idea by Dr. Hawks to start QSI at Visakhapatnam has impacted more than 250 employees over the years. An organization is fundamentally about its people. It is not defined not just by its products, services, goals, but it's actually defined by the people who drive its vision forward. It's the collective efforts, relationships, and shared experiences of individuals that shape the culture, values, and success of any organization. From leadership to every team member, it is the people who bring innovation, collaboration, and resilience, making the organization what it truly is. In essence, the heart of any organization is its people. Quant Systems India began its journey in 1994 with just 11 employees working together in a modest office space. From those humble beginnings, the company steadily expanded, growing to nearly 100 people at its peak. Today, we are a close-knit team of around 75 dedicated individuals who continue to drive the company forward. What stands out to me when I connect with our former colleagues is the deep sense of connection they still have with QSI. Wherever they are today, they carry a part of their experience here with them, just as we all carry a little bit of QSI within us. The photos you see are a reflection of both our past and present, capturing moments shared by our valued former team members alongside those who continue to help shape our future. They serve as a reminder of the lasting impact QSI has on all of us, whether we are part of its history or still contributing to its growth today.
I can't tell you how much I have enjoyed starting Quant Systems India, working with the people there, building the company, interacting with the city of Vizag and the people of Vizag. And I have a deep respect for the culture of India, the friends that I've made there, and I actually love coming to India. I wish it wasn't so far. The first time it took 48 hours to get there, so it was a long ride. But anyway, I hope to see you one day in the near future, and hopefully Quant Systems India will have 30 more years of growth. So take care, and thank you for all that you do for us. Bye.